Hello traders, and welcome back to the market opening preview on a Monday, September 8th, 2014. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Yeah, and that should have been on this slide. I don't know where it went, but I know I put it on there. Traders, great to be with you on a Monday and a brand new trading week. I'm glad the NFP stuff is over. The ECB jolted the market last week. We'll talk about that in our commentary news section. However, coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Bright blue, sunny skies, nice and warm. No breeze today. Beautiful day for the beach. Traders, if you would let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator through the market opening preview every single day before the London Open. Traders, don't forget on Friday, we do the Friday wrap-up after the New York close. So you can look forward to that. We go over daily charts. We do about 12, 15 daily charts. We take a look at possibly some direction for the next week. Traders, let's talk about our risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, it's very important that you understand that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Alright traders, let's get over to the news and commentary. Alright, so let's take a look at what happened after the good old NFP numbers came out. The Dow 30 was up in the green at 0.40%. The S&P 500 was also up at 0.50%. The NASDAQ 100 was up 0.59%. And what else do we got going on here? Let's take a look at the other side of the pond. I see some red. Looks like the DAX was up 0.23%, with the FTSE 100 negative 0.33%. CAC 40 was negative 0.19%. Euro Stocks 50 just barely in the red at 0.04%. Not too bad. So let's take a look at what we got on the calendar today. As you know, it's Monday after NFP, usually a very slow price action day. There are moves, but you just got to be a little bit careful here. Alright, so we did have some news come out. I started a little bit late today, traders, I have to be honest with you. I was watching some American football this morning very early. Alright, China came out with some trade balance, had some good data on that note, and that was a high impact news alert. In the Asia session, the Aussie had some medium impact stuff come in, but I don't see anything that is earth-shattering that is going to affect us at all. We do have some Swissy news coming out throughout the day, but again, medium impact, nothing that is going to rock the boat. And traders, I would say we have a very technical trading day on hand for today. Not much going on. So while we have a little bit of extra time, let me see if we can get some commodities up here a little bit. Maybe we can get some oil or something like that. Let's see what we can get going here. It doesn't look like it's going to let me do it. I did try though. Alright, it's not letting me do it. So let's move on. Let's talk about a commentary a little bit. So the numbers were bad for NFP out of the US. Markets really didn't respond to it. It was pretty lackluster response to the data. Out of that, ECB President Draghi cutting 10 basis points off the interest rates was the big one. A lot of those moves were 140 pips, 160 pips on some pairs. And now we're at a Monday. So Asia, even though we're in the Asia session, but we're in the quiet part of Asia session, so we should see if we're going to see any correction by Asia responding to those NFP numbers and the ECB interest rate cut. We should see that before the London Open. The London Open is going to come in, and then it's going to be a technical day. And as we go through some of these charts, you'll see how this is going to change. And there's a lot of decision making because a lot of these pairs are still in the trend. And now we're going to see, I'm a very big pullback trader. I don't know if we're going to get that today, traders. So let's head on over to the 60-minute Forex charts. And let's see what we have. Here's a great example. Here's a euro dollar, right? I really don't want to buy the euro, but this is at support. And what I did was I basically gave you a breakout formula. You're going to see a little bit of this in the charts today. So basically, if we can get a bullish candlestick formation off this trend line, it's a valid trend line. It's a 5-touch trend line. If we can get a valid bounce off of this, let's take it up once it gets past 1.2980, and we'll just take this bad boy up as close as we can to the 1.3099 area. I'm not sure what's going to happen, traders. I don't know if, the euro. Draghi came so close to saying we're going to start printing money and doing quantitative easing, but he quite didn't come out and say that's going to happen yet. But we're all thinking, or the market, I should say, is thinking that that's going to happen. So the euro, he's cut rates, so that's a bad thing. And if he says he's going to start printing money, it's just going to dump the euro some more. So, you got to play this on both sides of the fence. We could play it to the upside till it's corrected or did whatever it wants to do, or it's just going to continue to go down. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. All right, let's take a look over here at the pound dollar. The pound has opened with a gap in this Asia session after our holiday break. So 99% of the time, gaps get filled, folks. So I am looking for this to fill the gap. So actually, I'm bullish on this pair. Now, doesn't happen all the time. This could turn around and go down 70 pips. So you just have to keep an eye on it. But understand that gaps do get filled. So we'll have to see what happens here at the London Open. I definitely wouldn't take any kind of trade entry before the London Open. And let's see what happens on there. All right, here's our Aussie dollar. Again, a tiny little gap. It's filled. Just barely got filled, but it is filled. The Aussie's above the 200, and it's as wacky as it can be. It's been that way for the last month. Not quite sure what we're going to do with this. We're going to have to, as long as it stays above the 200, I really want to stay bullish. But you can see I put a dotted line there at 93.91, and that's resistance. So we'll see if this resistance holds. And, if we can take this from 67 to 93 or 91, I'll take it. It's close to 30 pip trade, and that's fine. But let's see what kind of situation we get at the London Open and how the markets react. But, the Aussie dollar is just doing what the Aussie dollar does, whatever it wants. There's really no direction. Just look at this. Just look at how ugly this chart is. There's nothing pretty about this chart. So with the Aussie dollar, we just need to trade what's in front of us, make sure we keep some logical stops. I used to say keep tight stops, but now I'm saying logical stops because I've gotten stopped out a couple of times, and that's because my stop was too tight and ended up, if I would have put my stop another 10 or 15 pips, the trade ended up going in my direction to my take profit area. That's a little frustrating. All right, let's take a look at my favorite pairs, and that's the Euro Aussie. Again, here we are. We are in a range situation. This is in a downtrend. The Euro Aussie's been in a downtrend for months. Had a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago, where it was, went up a little bit. But it's in a downtrend, and the data came out, and it just continued the downtrend. So what is this going to do? You can see I placed two lines there. The bottom one's being at 38.01, which means that's 3,800 psychological area, so it can bounce off of there. And to the upside, we got 38.54. And if we're going to take it to the upside, it's got to break out of that. Give us a retest, and we can take that to the upside. Not sure how this Euro Aussie is going to work out today. The Aussie's weak, and I'm not sure about the Euro. The Aussie is unpredictable, and the Euro is very weak. So not sure how exactly we're going to do this. Here's our Euro Yen 60-minute chart. This is, I hate to say it, but this is another ugly chart, and this pair has been trading so nice lately. So, I'm looking for the pullback, and I'd like to take this up. However, the pair's been bearish. So again, it might break. It might not pull back. It just might break and continue in its trend. On the daily chart, it is below the 200 exponential moving average. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on that and see which way it goes. But again, it's a very technical day today. There's nothing really data-wise that's going to push this market one way or the other. So we just have to keep a really close eye on that and see how that works out. And for the last pair of the day, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar, which is, by the way, the best setup we have so far today. the New Zealand dollar really, it reacted to NFP and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, it's already closed its gap, and I'm just looking for this to continue to the downside. If that wasn't a doji, I'd tell you to enter this trade right now, but I'm not going to enter this trade on a doji when we're this close to the 200, because it might go back up to the 200 and then come back down. But if we get a bearish candlestick formation, like a engulfing bearish candlestick formation, that'd be a great trade to take to the downside. I gave you two opportunities to get out with profit, and those, of course, is looking left of the chart where we had support and resistance and where price reacted to those price levels. And I gave you two of those. So depending on your trade management, you would decide which way you want to get out of the trade. But out of all of the pairs we looked at today, I think this New Zealand dollar is the best one so far. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and of course our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I'd like to thank you for joining me on a Monday. Traders coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Sunny skies, white sandy beaches, looking absolutely gorgeous today. Traders, you all take care, and we will speak to you tomorrow before the London Open. Traders, take care now. Bye-bye.